Falling now from the Liffey head bog, the infant river Liffey is now an energetic child, running off the bog and curling its way into the Kippure valley, then plunging downhill, bubbling, gurgling and chattering. But don't be deceived. With a heavy rain, this river can once again become the raging beast, rising as much as 3 meters higher in height. Down into this empty-looking valley the Liffey runs, and barren it may look, but it is actually a modern treasure trove holding buried clues that can tell us about our ancestors, something that was not known at all until recent accidental findings.
If I was here 30 years ago, I'd have said to you, yeah, they may be living here, but we have no evidence for it. If I stood here 15 years ago, I'd have said to you, actually, you know what? In the museum, they have a lovely quernstone. It was found bang on down there because we discovered it. Huge amounts of stone axes have been found over the years, with farmers ploughing the ground, with people literally walking along a river's edge and seeing something in the bed of a river. I mean, that's where the quernstone came from. It was disturbed ground, and I had the trained eye to see it. But if it wasn't me, it could have just as easily been a family going for a walk and a child seeing something going, hey mum, hey dad, I see something.
Down or up the river's highway through the forest, the first farmers came.
Probably the first inhabitants, they'll be making their way for the Midlands, and I think the feeling is that have come over, the Sally Gap, because that or the Wicklow Gap are the only 2 ways across the mountains. They probably would have come down along by the river there, and there I found, hidden away, a quernstone.
What Tim found is probably a bullon stone, another form of quern. They come in many shapes and sizes, although they fall into basically 2 categories.
There's the flat-based quern, which would have kind of a concave shape, where you'd put your cereal and you'd grind it with a stone. And at a later date then they went for these rotary querns, which have been round.
We've turned up quite a significant number of them on the reservoir in Pulafuka. To such an extent, in fact, it almost looks like that they were making them and shipping them out to other parts, probably of Leinster really, during the prehistoric period.
You have no evidence for medieval or post-medieval up in this way. It's all really the very early Neolithic and Bronze Age in this area. I would look down there, and if I could jump into a time machine now, I would very happily, on the evidence of the quern and the other artefacts we know in the area, I'd very happily be looking down there, seeing maybe 1 or 2 family units not too far away, with forestry in this area, but small little clearings where they've been growing their cereal grains, and some form of evidence for houses as well.
The huge and dense forest that once covered these hills was both a help and a danger to ancient humans, with game such as herds of Irish red deer in the forest, but also dangers from vicious wild pig, bears or wolves. But today, they are all gone, leaving a river valley given over to occasional sheep, wild tough grasses, and a few remaining fir trees. So when you next walk in these hills or along the river bank, look around. For anywhere here, there are artifacts that may be found, possibly dropped accidentally 3,000 years ago.
People always say architects walk along the road and they look up, archaeologists look down, and we do, we're always looking down. You could find clay pipes, you could find little bits of pottery, but yeah, every day holds potential to find new things.
Look carefully, for you might be the one who finds the next great piece of ancient history, down by the young River Liffey as it scours the banks and reveals its hidden secrets to the searching eye of the discerning passerby.